Hi, welcome to the third video. On this video I am going to use Scrapebox to scrape up a whole bunch of keywords, and then I'm going to use those keywords in Hrefer. It's a program that comes with Xrumer to scrape up forum links to post to with Xrumer. So I still have all those keywords from the vapor smoking site that I had. So let's just go ahead and start with those and post them into Scrapebox. Now in Scrapebox, make sure you set this to 4, because what that's going to do is it's going to scrape as far as it can on this side here with this amount of keywords, and then it'll run out of results, and then it'll automatically transfer them over to this side and then scrape again 4 times and removing duplicates. So let's go ahead and start the scrape, and I'll show you an example of what I mean here quickly. I'm going to probably pause it between scrapes just because it can go for a very long time. One thing that I do want to point out is you want to try and get as many keywords as you possibly can, even if 20,000 keywords or more if you can, just because you're going to get a lot more forums that way. Another thing, to make it really simple, keep the window for where the program's actually installed underneath, and that way you can just switch back and forth like this, because we're going to be doing a lot of going into the files in the software and loading up proxies and stuff like that. So it's just easier to have that. See right here, I have the Scrapebox one right underneath. It just makes for good practice that way, so you're not moving windows around all over the place on your desktop and getting everything messed up. See, it's already jumped to, I'm not sure which level it's at now, but what it did was it ran out of results for the initial keywords I had there. So it removed duplicates automatically, put them over here, and then started scraping again. So it just, this feature was just added not too long ago, so it's really handy to have that. Just put that to number 4. And if we don't get enough keywords, we can just keep scraping and put another 4 in there and scrape again. Now there's proxies on each of the desktops, but I did want to mention that for Hrefer and Xrumer, if you're going to use proxies, it's better to just get a whole bunch of public ones and just use them, because it burns through proxies quite fast. And if you got some paid ones for yourself, you can use those, or you can use Scrapebox and scrape up a whole bunch of public ones. Just use them. So I'm just going to pause it here quick while it burns through these. And really the best thing to do would be at the end of each of your work days, just let this scrape all night, and then when you come to work at the next day, you're going to have a great big huge list of, sometimes I've got up to like 60,000 keywords, and that's what you want. You want to get as many as you possibly can. I'm just going to stop it here because obviously I can't let it run for a long time. So press abort. It's going to remove the duplicates. So now I'm down to 2,500. Which isn't a lot. You want to let that go for a long time. So I'm going to send this to Scrapebox. And another thing I wanted to point out is when you go into this keyword scraper and you get a great big list of anything over, I would say 20,000 after it removes duplicates, when you press the send to Scrapebox button, sometimes Scrapebox gets overwhelmed with how many keywords there are and will crash. So in that case, you want to go into your Scrapebox folder, click on Harvester Sessions, and go down to the very bottom keyword scrape. And it keeps all of them, it saves it as it goes. So it's good to know that, because it does happen. Also, if you're in the middle of harvesting, we're not going to be doing any harvesting of blogs or anything like that in this video, but it saves all the harvester sessions too. And that would be if you're going to come up here and click on WordPress and harvest. When you're using that function of Scrapebox, so it saves all of those too, which is really good just in case Scrapebox crashes. So just to recap there, what we did was we went into the scrape button right here, we went on to this keyword scraper, we pasted our main list of keywords that we're going for our site right here in this box, and then we hit scrape. Keep that at number 4, let it finish up, remove all the duplicates automatically, come back, go grab a coffee, come back in 20 minutes. Now when you set it on scrape again for the second time and put that at 4, you could probably let it go overnight. It'll take that long, but you'll have a great big huge list. Alright, so let's grab our keywords. We're going to save them. I'm just going to save it on the desktop. Okay, there it is right here. Actually, we want to put this, let's just copy it, go over to our Hrefer folder, go into the words folder and paste it in there. And this is where you're going to put all of your keywords that you scrape in your Hrefer folder under the words folder here. And while we're in the Hrefer folder, we might as well put our proxies in. So where are we here? Xproxy is the name of the file right here. And my list of proxies is right here. So I saved those there. And now what you want to do is just turn off your Hrefer and start it again. So now it shows the proxy list of 50, and it has my quit smoking keywords loaded up. It's showing 4,000 there. I don't think it is quite 4,000, but that's okay. Alright. I'm pretty sure you can name your links list after you're done the scraping, but let's call it something else anyways right now. You still want to call it links list ID. But I don't like to save it as links list ID 1 because there's already a links list ID 1. So I'm just going to call it links list ID 55. There, that's the correct format right there. Links list space ID and the number. And you got to get that down pat because Xrumer won't read it. Make sure that format's perfect. Links list ID. There we go. Links list space ID number dot text. So you can get into all kinds of advanced functions here, like editing the filter. If you want to get into that, you can by all means search it in Google. I'm just going to leave it at all forums. I find that it works excellent for what we're doing with SEO. There's a whole bunch of different little tricks that you can use Hrefer for and scraping. I'm not going to get too advanced into it. We're just going to be doing SEO, and it really gives you great results the way that we're using it here. So I'm just going to leave it all these settings at default. I'm going to put my threads up to 100. Yeah, leave all these here. Just leave it. Good black hat forums like bestblackhatforum.com. Black Hat Scene, I've got some really good filters out of there that I've tried before, and there's a really good guide that I found there too actually. Those guys are really helpful with that sort of thing if you want to do a search and get more advanced into filtering out because you can go for just VB forums and setting up just profiles. There's a million and one different little functions that you can do, but let's just leave those all at default, and we're gonna hit scrape. So it's gonna go out and it's gonna find us all forum links for Xrumer. We've got our proxy list loaded, we got our word space loaded, everything's good. So I'm just gonna pause it, and then we'll come and get our links list when it's finished, and I'll show you what I do for making an Xrumer forum post, and you can expand on that and try different things. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it here. I got myself a nice small little list going on 6,500 links. You can see all the ones that it's filtering out that aren't forums. Just gonna let it stop there. Okay, so here's our links list. All forums related to quitting smoking. And it's exactly what we want. We are going to load up Xrumer. One thing I didn't do right off the bat. Once you save your links list from Hrefer at the bottom here, I stopped it early, but it will keep going eventually and just stop because it won't be able to find any more links. And you can also select different search engines here, but I just always use Google. You can click off all of them here if you want. So go into your links folder, take the list that we just made here, find your Xrumer folder and your user profile, and just drop it in here. Links list ID 55. Then we start up Xrumer. Where are we here? Just scroll down to find your links list that you just created. Now I wouldn't go using any of the ones that come with it that are already in your folder. I mean, you can if you want. But there's probably been thousands of people that have been using those ones. You might not get very good results. So we just loaded it up, 6,471. Now, like I said, if you would have let your keywords scrape all night and got 40,000 keywords, Hrefer would find more if you left Hrefer run all night also. Or longer. Okay, so what I want to do is create a new project. Just hit autofill, and by default it's just going to put one number in here, one set of numbers, and just give one name for these. You want to put some more names of cities, some more names of countries in here, and you want to make your ICQ number. You want it to be a random number every single post. So I'm just gonna see if I have it in my other one here. Just gonna grab it. Now here's a really good ebook that I got. Must be a couple years old now or more. It's called Xrumer Unleashed, and it just goes over the basics of Xrumer and explaining how to use it. Well, it's got a bunch of different functions that it shows you, including cookie stuffing and a whole bunch of other different methods. But using it for SEO is all I use it for, and it does a really good job at it. You can send me a support ticket if you want this book. I think it's in our knowledge base, actually. I'm just looking for the... This is what I always put for my ICQ number. Oops, there we go. That way it creates a random number every single time, and you're not leaving a footprint, and you don't want to leave a footprint, because the Google bot is going to look for things, look for footprints of people that are spamming, and if it notices something and it can link it to other posts that you've made, then it's not going to count your links at all. So you want to just making sure that copied in there properly. Yeah, I didn't think it did. There we go. So we're gonna do, I had 2 domains for my quit smoking or my startvapor.com site, and I had vapor smoking or vaporcigarettesonline.com. And if you have other domains for your website, you can just spin it. So this is where you put your home page, and if you have more than one domain for your website, then you can put spin tax. And I'm sure that you guys all know what spin tax is. We use it in Scrapebox and everything else. City, we can use what is already, well, maybe not. I'll just put a bunch of random cities off the top of my head here. And each time it's going to pick just randomly one of those for your post. And for here, just do the same thing for area of work. I did see somebody using Xrumer, and for hobbies, area of work, country, city, ICQ, all of those, they just put all their keywords. Now that's something that you can obviously test if you want, see how that works. I don't make a signature. I'm sure that you can make a signature if you use the advanced part of Xrumer, which would be make a whole bunch of forum profiles, and you come back to those forum profiles, save the whole list that you've made in about a week or two. Then you can, after you've made so many posts to those forums, you'll be able to put a signature in here. But if we're just going to be blasting away off our first registration, most of the signatures aren't going to be approved anyways. You won't be able to make one. So I just leave that blank if I'm just doing a post from scratch. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute once we get into the advanced options. So now Xrumer has different options for making email accounts, which is really cool, because it never used to have Hotmail. It never used to have all these other ones that are in there. It just had Gmail. So It's a lot easier now. And if you remember in video 2 where I showed you in Search Engine Ranker where you can buy the Hotmail accounts that already have the spam filter redirected to the inbox, just use that. You can grab yourself 1,000 of those emails for $12. It's definitely worth it. Okay, now that's registered. Okay, now the email is registered. And now we're going to make our titles for the forum topics. We want to make as many titles as we can for the threads and spin them. So we're going to say something like, watch this great proven method to quit smoking for good. Another title could be Unbelievable Way to Quit Smoking Forever. Best way to kick your smoking habit. Start vaping with electronic cigarettes and stay healthy. And I'll throw another one in there. As seen on World's Best Way to Quit Smoking with Vapor. Okay, just gonna go over that. Let's see what I do. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make a quick post here, and we're gonna spin the post, and we're gonna spin it in a way that it's not gonna make it all gibberish and not make any sense. The best way to actually do it is just spin it manually, and I'll show you here. Now that I have tried the new vapor cigarettes, I have Okay, that's one way you can do it. Now I'm just going to quickly go over this and put some spin in it. So instead of being I've been smoking for some time, I'll put my wife and I. Now you see what I did there? Now it's going to make a total different sentence out of it. So one time it'll put my wife and I have been smoking now for some time, and another post it'll put I've been smoking for some time, now for some time. So you just want to replace as many phrases or words as you can that will still make sense, so you get different variations of it. And usually I go through and change about 4 or 5 of them. So tried the vapor cigarettes, we haven't stopped smoking, or I haven't kicked the habit, but now I stay healthy. And that should be pretty much good as an example. Okay, let's test it. Click on the test button. My wife and I have been smoking now for some time, and I've really never had success with quitting. Now that me and my wife have tried the new vapor cigarettes, I haven't kicked the habit, but now I stay healthy. Vapor cigarettes are 100% healthy and have no toxic chemicals. I encourage you to quit smoking today and try these vapor cigarettes. And I always leave the avatars enabled in the advanced options. So I'm going to save that. Actually, I'm going to pick one of these. Make sure the links list is set. And when I was talking about only making profiles in forums, you can put registering only mode on and only look to make profiles. I always leave mandatory registration with posting. That way you can still leave a profile and post to forums that don't have a place to make a profile. And edit the profile after registration. Leave this checked. Check for active links after it's done posting. Leave that checked. You can load an avatar or not. It's up to you. Some people don't do it. It takes a little bit of extra time to load a picture, but it looks a little bit more legit. And I always leave these two on right here. Ref spam, what that does is go to sites and tells the sites that you were there or somebody came from your URL that you have in your settings on the home page, tricking the site into thinking somebody came from your site. And a lot of sites will show a little box or keep track of where people are coming from, making a link back to your site. It can attract a lot of traffic. I've tested that a few times, and you can actually just enable ref spam. And there's different methods of using that also could get very advanced. So for now, just look at this. This is what we're going to do for making a great big SEO blast. You can either leave this checked or unchecked. That's totally up to you. I like to try and get as many profiles as I can on this one. And aggressive posting mode, what that's going to do is make as many threads as possible in the same forum. And that's going to attract a lot of attention. But that would be good if you were posting a banner in your posts in advertising. That way you could get millions of posts out there with your banner for whatever you're advertising out there. There's a few tricks that you can do that way. I'm not going to leave that checked. All those posts will get deleted anyways. Okay, so let's just click save here, and what we'll do is we'll hit start. You can set the threads up to about, I put mine up to about 80 and I just let it coast all week. Then you can come back here and check your reports, and once in a while I'll just pop back in and change the email, because emails do get backlisted. What's going on here? Oops. Keep that at 10. This is the threads here. And all the activation required means it has to go into the email. Check it. So just leave that at 80. You don't really need to go up to any higher than that. If you always have Xrumer running, there's no reason to go any higher. I've seen people that will set that up to 800, and it's just gonna lead to crashing. You don't need that many threads. What you want to do at the bottom of your post, and this is what I do, you can try highlighting different words inside of your post if you'd like, but I take my main keywords and this might just take a couple minutes here, but it's really worth it. How did I do it? You want to put all of your keywords into Spintax. Okay, that's good enough to show you what I'm doing here. Now, after you put your last curly bracket, highlight all of those keywords here. And come up here and hit the URL button. And save it. And I'll show you what it did. So at the bottom of every single post, it's going to randomly pick one of your keywords. It'll randomly pick one of your URLs, and it'll randomly pick one of your keywords and put them at the bottom of the post. And it works really, really good. That's all I do to put a little bit extra boost on my sites. I'll use GSA and Sanook, and I'll go after some really, really hard keywords. And once I see that, there's a little bit more competition than I thought, or somebody else is really going for that keyword on first page and I'm having a hard time, then you can just break out Xrumer and make a post like this. Always make sure it's related to your niche, and go ahead and blast away, and you'll blow your competition out of the water, and you'll get first spot in Google without no problem. And the reason that I say that it has to be related to your niche is because Google looks for all of these words when the bot is reading all the pages, and it's going to look for similar words related to your site, and it will rank that post, how relevant it is to your site, and how much link juice it's going to pass towards your site, depending on how good a quality of the site that it's on, the quality of your post, all those things. There's 100 different factors that come into play. So we're just going to save it, shut it, and then come back and check after a day or so. So that's all I wanted to show you with this training video. The basic functions of Xrumer and using it for SEO. The next video we'll get more into using Scrapebox and different functions of Scrapebox and different functions of Xrumer. Have a good day.